everybody, so this is going to be the real down and dirty tattoo tour that you've all been waiting for. I will try to go in sort of order of how I got them, and I'll tell you a little bit about each one. But yeah, down and dirty, quick little tattoo tour so you guys could see all of our tattoos, and there will be more in the future, so it'll probably have to be updated. But starting off with my very first tattoo, if you can see it right up there. I know it's kind of hard to read. It says Sunny. I got that on my 18th birthday after my golden retriever puppy named Sunny passed away. It was a life lesson for me that if you're not sure of what you want, you're very easily swayed. So although I love the meaning behind the tattoo, it's not something or a style that I'd get. Luckily, I at least had the foresight to get it somewhere I don't look at it every day. But yeah, so I do love the meaning behind that tattoo, but it is not aesthetically my favorite, but I will always love it. And yeah, I got that on my 18th birthday. I believe the next tattoo, and the only tattoo on my left side, is this Buffy quote, "Be brave, live." That will always be the only tattoo on my left side. I got that tattoo a little while after I got the one on the back of my neck, and it means a lot to me. Anyone who knows, I love Buffy. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, if you don't know. She was extremely influential in my upbringing and who I am as a woman. And that is a quote from the episode The Gift, which is the season 5 finale. If you know, you know. I actually originally wanted the entire quote, but the tattoo artist said it would go from here to here. So I just got the last little bit of it. And I actually really love it. And I'm okay with the fact that I didn't know I would only be getting tattoos on the right side of my body. That sort of emerged slowly over time. But it's okay. I feel like this one being a standalone is actually kind of great, actually. And then the next tattoo, which is by far my biggest tattoo, I got, this one's really fun. Hold on, let me zoom in. Big girl. This is Hazel. So I got her on Halloween in Plymouth, Massachusetts. This says established 1991. That's when I was born. She also has her own tattoo. 1620 is when Plymouth happened, Plymouth Rock. A little jack-o'-lantern, a little skull, some fall foliage, and I got her a long time ago, and she never sees the light of day. 7.5 hours, and I just laid there and I watched Buffy while I was getting it done. I got it in Plymouth on Halloween. Awesome experience. It was actually one of my favorite, because I just felt like it connected me to Halloween and Plymouth in a really permanent way. This is my Poop Coven tattoo. So it says Poop Coven. It has our little hat that has the poop on the top emblem. I also love this one. When you start getting tattoos, you really think about the placement, and that was one of my first, my fourth tattoo, and I realized that now I would have gotten it on my arm, or I would have gotten it somewhere where it's much easier to show. You don't think about those things when you're kind of first starting out, so a little advice, if you will, is when you get a tattoo, placement really matters. If it's something that you want to show all the time, don't put it somewhere that's kind of awkward to show. But that's my Poop Coven tattoo. We got that tattoo as a redemption from St Jude, which is really, really cool. Yeah, so that's pretty fun. And then now we're getting into really where the all of my other tattoos are. I don't even know where to begin. So we'll just start at the top and work our way down, I guess. So starting at the tippy top, we have this little ladybug, and this little ladybug is very meaningful to me because my grandma Judy, my mom's mom, wore a ladybug pin every single day of her life. We got it for her as a gift, a family gift. I don't even know, a long time ago. And she wore it, a little pin on her shoulder every single day. She took it off outfit to outfit. It was never not on her shoulder. And when she passed away in 2020, everybody in the family was hunting for that ladybug pin. We all wanted it, everybody. And this was during the peak of the pandemic in New York in March. My grandma was one of the first to fall victim to it. And her apartment was quarantined, hazmat suits, the whole nine. And when we finally were allowed to go through her apartment, everyone was looking for it. My mom was checking every sweater, every t-shirt, everything. My uncle, my cousins, everyone. And I went to the city and I was like, how can I help? And my mom said, just start opening things and, just start, she wasn't just looking for the ladybug pin, but everyone was really trying to look for it. And people had been going through the apartment, like with like a microscope trying to find it. And I'm gonna start crying. So I'm like, okay. So I reach onto the top of this dresser and there's just like a little tiny box, and I open it up, and right in that box is a ladybug pin. And my grandma always said she wanted me to have it. And it was almost like she hid it from everybody until I got there. I found it within like the first 5 minutes of being there. My mom said everyone already went through that box. Like it was weird. It was one of those witchy moments in my life. My mom and I this was the time when you weren't hugging, you weren't touching. We couldn't help it. We like rushed into each other's arms and were sobbing hysterically in our hazmat suits. And it was a whole thing. And crying. And that ladybug pin is mine. I'm too scared to wear it because I'm too clumsy and too forgetful. So I instead I have it. It's safe. But I got a little ladybug on my shoulder that's permanent. So she'll always be with me too. So that one's actually, even though it's small, small size doesn't matter. It can be very meaningful. Then we go to this really big piece. This is probably the biggest piece on my arm. It incorporates the little dragon. There are little fireflies around. There's a fiddle leaf fern and there's a little snail. Let me get closer. There's Chinese lanterns, mushies, blueberries. It says, "You do not yield." It's a stack of books. There's like a little moon, and then a very important dagger from Throne of Glass. And "You do not yield" is also a quote from Throne of Glass. Anyone who knows me knows that I read constantly, compulsively, and all the time. And Throne of Glass is a very meaningful book, but also I wanted this book stack and everything around it to just also be a symbol, like the dragon up here, to just be a symbol of me, my love of books, my love of whimsy, the forest. So although yes, it's supposed to lean towards ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, I also just wanted it to be a representation of me too, and my love of the fantasy genre and the romantasy and stuff. So so that's my stack of books. And there's a ton of detail. There's a little snail down there. There's a ton of detail. A lot of it I absolutely love. My favorite part of it is the Chinese lanterns with the little spider webs hanging off of it. I also really like my almost translucent fireflies in the back, and you'll see there's a lot of bugs somehow on my arm. Working our way while we're here are my stamps. I get asked about the stamps quite a bit. The stamps actually represent my 3 dogs. So Lily, who's my soulmate and my soul dog and my daughter, and love her. She passed away, but that's a Lily. The number 4 is because my lucky number is 4, and since she's like my familiar, my soul dog, she's an extension of me. Mountain, who is Aiden's familiar and soul dog, his lucky number is 19. And then Slate, who's we call more often Trash. He eats trash. He always wants to put his face in the trash. He's just like our little trash man. We got a little trash can, and then we call them Rags in this house, but he carries socks a lot. So little Rag. And then when he's being naughty, he's Crazy Eights. And the reason why they're stamps is I always said that they're like sent from me from heaven or the universe or whatever. So that's why they're stamps. We'll work our way this way. So the little ghost, anyone who knows me knows I love Halloween. So we got a little ghost with some little sprinkles coming off. Not This Hill, Not Today is actually a really interesting quote. So during the peak of my anxiety, I watched a documentary it was on Netflix. It was about these people in Gloucester who chase a wheel of cheese down a hill. I know, you're like, how did this inspire you so much you got it tattooed? Well, I suffer from health anxiety. It's one of the last remnants of my anxiety disorder that I can't really shake fully. And this was a super inspirational documentary because these people throw themselves down a hill for a wheel of cheese for no reason, essentially. It's just like a tradition that they do. And it meant a lot to me because the message behind it was, you know, all of us will pass one day. It's part of being born. You know, you're essentially born to die, not to reference Lana Del Rey, but it's sort of true. And that they do it to feel alive and feel connected. And the documentary was really inspiring. And it was essentially, there will be a hill that will take you out, but it's not this hill and not today. And to learn to be present and live in the moment, and really to stop thinking about tomorrow's problems today. So that's why that quote is very meaningful to me, and I really, really love it. Also, you'll see I have 3 lightning bugs, fireflies. I have one here, I have one here, and I have one on my wrist. Those represent my husband. You'll see a lot of them. They're very bright. They kind of like almost look like they glow, which is really cool because they're actually kind of old. So they did a good job making them really, really bright. But yeah, so my husband and I love lightning bugs. And if you've never seen a firefly, they are so beautiful and incredible and breathtaking, and they really look like they're made of magic. So highly recommend. They're beautiful. This house is a very meaningful house to me. It's beautiful and incredible, and it has a lot of history to it. It has a connection to my family, to Plymouth, so I really, really love it and cherish it. And yeah, so that's the house, and I made it Halloween-y so that it kind of like looked like a haunted house kind of. Working into the pit. So this is a really awkward one. There's really no good way to show it. It was sort of my filler. I don't have a lot of filler on my tattoo, but I do have some filler, and one of them is my witches in the pit. There are 3 of them. They are essentially like naked. They have witches hat, and they're dancing around with their little hats, and it's really awkward and weird to show. There's really no good way of showing it, but it's just my little witches in the pit. It's a little pun, if you will. So yeah, so they're a little bit harder to show. Next up is my figs, not fig. Botanicals. So there's a seed, a strawberry flower, and a strawberry, and it shows like the entire life germination of strawberries. So that's the strawberry fig. And fig stands for, like in a vintage botanical book, they always put like figure 1, figure 2. So it's supposed to look like it came out of that. Working our way to the back, I have a sun and a moon kissing. Aiden gets a lot of stuff on here. Then we got my little jack-o'-lantern that has the little sunnies on it. That's just for fun, being cute and whimsical. The I love yous are actually my mom, dad, and Aiden's handwriting. So this is my mom's I love you in her handwriting, my dad's I love you in his handwriting, and Aiden's handwriting I love you. And then we'll just do the back. So in Lily I Trust in red. It's my very bold tattoo. Also, if we go this way, this little sun, Jesus. This little sun is actually from her collar. And in Lily I Trust is in red, and we chose to make it almost look like a brand, and it's supposed to represent, basically, she's my new deity, and I worship her and miss her, and it's written in the ink color is called Blood Oath. So it's supposed to look like a brand, and yes, it's supposed to look like a blood oath, which I think is nailed. This is the Leo constellation. And then we're gonna go this way, and we're gonna start doing the fun stuff on the front. So let's get into it, because there's still more to go. So on the front, we'll start working our way down. So this arm ditch piece, the constellation, and then everything on my front forearm is all made by the same artist. So this is an antler with lichen coming out of it, which is a kind of mushroom that actually is almost alien-esque, and can live forever, and it's a very, you should Google it, it's a really kind of interesting kind of fungi. And then we have my wolf. Wolves are probably my favorite wild animal. That with a beluga whale. But also what's really fun about this wolf is she has a strawberry crowns. There are strawberries kind of popping out of her head. That's a strawberry leaf, and the strawberries. She's holding lavender in her mouth. She's sort of my spirit guard and guardian. Then working our way down, we have my little bat in the apothecary jar, which is my witchy stuff, a moth hanging upside down, also from the apothecary jar, and then the chicken foot, which is, if you're a witch, you know, it is a sign of protection, good luck, and repellent, and is a very powerful part of old school witchcraft. So there's a chicken foot. And then this guy, Norbert, I'll tell you about. He was not part of this piece, but my artist worked Norbert in, but we'll save him after. So this, and then into my bone, my teeth bracelet, as I call it. And I am obsessed with my teeth bracelet. It's probably my favorite piece, actually. I weirdly enough, even though it's really small, it's probably my favorite. So, so this is all very witchy, old school witchy. All the little stars and dots and stuff are also from there. And then here's that other firefly. Then we have some runes, relentless and resilient, written in runes. Again, protection, a little Viking-esque, but it's my hardcore witchy stuff. 4 4s, because my lucky number is 4, and there is no more elite number than the number 4 times. So there's that. And then we'll get to Norbert. So Norbert is my flower-headed, strawberry scaled, all the way up here snake. So he has mushies coming out of him. He has strawberry scales all over him, and he loops all the way around. He kind of makes almost like a watch bracelet. And he's got a little flower head. He needs to be touched up a little bit, but that is Norbert. He's really fun. He's a cute guy. He's a little Norbert. And then flip it over, and we have Plant or Perish, which is made to look sort of like a fading postcard, if you will. I'll try to zoom in on it. It's a skeleton holding marigolds. Marigolds are often seen as a sort of gateway to the afterlife, I'll put it gently. So holding marigolds, and Plant or Perish, because I believe in, we need to keep planting, we need to keep gardening, we need to make pollinators, we need to help the bees. It's a little dark, but I also think the message is really beautiful. And yeah, it's supposed to kind of fade and look like a vintage, oh God, there's a mosquito, a vintage postcard. And then I think down to the last thing, as I am sweaty because I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible. And I feel like we've already been doing this for like 30 minutes. I'm so sorry. Lilac. That's a mosquito bite. Ignore it. So lilac, this lilac that you see here is a representation of, oh, I missed one. Is a representation of my dad. So growing up, I had the tiniest room in the whole house. It was so small. And I always used to complain about it because it was just like the people who bought the house made it into a closet. And my dad always really loved it. And he'd come hang out in my room and be like, I love your room. You have so many windows, whatever. And he decided to plant lilacs under my window so that every spring and summer when they bloom, my room would just smell like lilacs. And then me and my dad would go for walks, and we would walk around just smelling lilacs. Everyone had lilacs, and they were just the most beautiful smell. So lilacs always really mean my dad. Like if I smell lilac, I think of my dad. So I really love it. And now, last but not least, is my crystal blue persuasion. So it's a crystal, and then it has a blue stone and a little moon, and that represents my mom, because my mom, I forgot my hand. Oh, there's so many. My mom and I go to Plymouth every year, and it's my favorite place in the whole world. It probably means the most to me out of everywhere I've ever been and probably will ever go. I've been going since I was 9 with her, and on our way into Plymouth, we always listen to Crystal Blue Persuasion. I know a lot of people think of Breaking Bad when they hear it, but I think of my mom. And it's a really meaningful and important song. So I got that to represent my mom, and I also got it to represent my love of Plymouth. And now to my hand, of course. So my hand is actually probably my favorite thing that I've done. I love the way it looks. I love the meaning behind it. So there's a lot of detail, so I'm going to zoom in big time. So for the hand, We'll start with my teeth bracelet I told you guys about. It is, my hand represents Hades and Persephone, which is a representation of me and my husband, Aiden. So we have a pomegranate, a little snake. It says always, 91 is my birth. We also have a little dagger. This is the coordinates to Plymouth. And that is on this necklace that, if you know, I never take it off. That was gifted to me from my Plymouth mom, Lois, who runs Sparrow House, and I never take it off. It's like literally my most important, other than my wedding ring, it's like my most important piece of jewelry. So just in case, I also got the coordinates tattooed here. And then there's a rose vine, a little this guy, a little moon, a little dangly and ring, a little line, and then like a little thing there. And then there's tiny little details all over it, but I love my hand. It's probably one of my favorite things that I have. I think it's really beautiful. I think it's really special looking, and I think it really works so well with the rest of my tattoos. So for anybody who's wondering how long my arm in particular took, I've been getting tattooed since I was 18, but consistently and for this sleeve was over the course of like 2 to 3 years. I did not have a clear vision of what I was gonna get. So some people say, did you plan this whole thing out? Just do it slowly? No. I knew what I wanted my sleeve to look like, and I knew what the energy I wanted it to have. I knew I liked patchwork, but I didn't like patchwork where it's all sort of, kind of like Pinteresty, or it's things. I wanted it to be a representation of my life and almost like a quilt book of my memories and the people I love and the things I love. So I didn't go in with the intention of like, I know I'm going to put this here, this here, this here, and then just do it over the course of years. I did really know aesthetically what I wanted it to look like, and then would have ideas. I'd think about them for a long time, and then I would keep perfecting it, and then I'd reach out to the artist. Every single tattoo on here was done by a female artist, which is really important to me. I think they're incredibly woefully underrepresented, even though they're coming up. Yes, women. They're very underrepresented still in the tattoo community, and I personally really enjoy being tattooed by women. I think they understand the body of a woman. I think they understand that I do have male tattoos as well. Some of the artists I've gone to are very heavy-handed. I think that they just work with you and they understand how to contour. I mean, I think male tattoo artists are great too, but I really feel very comfortable, and I've really collected, I don't know what to say, like a really incredibly powerful group of female artists that I rotate. I have 3 steadily that I go to, and I'm actually incorporating a 4th artist who's gonna be putting something right here, which is gonna be my strawberry bondage berry. So stay tuned, I will have another one back there. That should be the last on the entire arm. I don't want to fill in every little gap. So like, I'm not gonna put anything here or like here. I don't want to lose the impact of the sleeve by overstuffing it. So no, I'm not gonna have anything here or like anything right here. That's not what the look I'm going for. I want everything to stand alone, but I also want it to be very impactful from afar. But yeah, so other questions I get is my aftercare. I use Dial antibacterial soap. I wash it on warm water, and then I pat it dry with paper towels, not a towel. I use Cetaphil, and I use a very thin layer. I do not use Aquaphor, and I am semi-allergic to second skin, so we don't do it unless we really have to. So normally it's saran wrapped. I go home, I leave it for a couple hours, and then I do its first wash. For my body, I never over moisturize. I don't have particularly oily skin or dry skin, so I just try to make a really thin layer. And for the first week, I'll wash it and Cetaphil it 3 times a day. And then over the course of a month, I slowly wean it until just wash once a day and Cetaphil once a day. And then eventually I just obviously use lotion when I feel like it. I've never had anything get infected. It works for me, but everyone's body works differently. So listen to your artist, listen to what works for you. Another question I get is any future ideas for tattoos. I will not get anything on my left side, not on my left arm, my left leg, nothing like that. I would love to get my right leg fully done as a sleeve, but again, if I don't have a specific idea or vision, I don't rush out to do it. I want everything on my body, so when I am old and everything's wrinkly and doesn't even, you can't even make out what anything is anymore, I want to still love and cherish all the memories and make my body almost like a scrapbook of my life. So no hurry, but yes, I would like to have my right leg done, and I potentially could see myself doing my back. It's a weird thing because would I only do half of my back, like just the right side of my back? Would I do the whole back? I don't know, but I would. Those are the only two places I would like. I will not do my tummy. I won't do my neck or my chest or my face. So also not behind the ears because I have really sensitive ears. So just right arm, right leg, and potentially either full back or half my back. So those are potentially up and coming long-term goals and projects. But yeah, I love getting tattooed. I find it very therapeutic. I find it really beautiful and a great way to represent yourself and who you are as a person. So this is my very scuffed, very fast, as quickly as I can, talking as fast as I can, tattoo tour. So if you ever have any questions or want to know anything more about any of the tattoos you see here, please feel free to message me. Come into my stream, twitch.tv/poopwitchx. You could ask me live. I can show you things in more detail if you want. And yeah, or comment below or whatever YouTube people say. But thanks for watching. I hope that this wasn't super, super long. But thank you so much. And yeah, so tattoos! Bye!